So, you're looking to create a challenger brand. That's awesome! Everyone loves a plucky underdog taking on the established order. But how exactly do you build a challenger brand, and how do you define it properly? Well, it certainly helps to start with the right foundations. Unfortunately, the customary tools for brand management originally pioneered by the FMCG companies for their soap powders way back in the 1950s are probably going to fall a little short for the modern-day challenger. Firstly, they're just hard for people outside of marketing to understand. In fact, many people inside marketing don't really get them. So after weeks of careful crafting, they end up being pretty words on a wall. Secondly, and much more crucially for challengers, they're just not good at capturing the passion that you need your entire business and customers to buy into. So if you're going to overcome the big players' inherent advantages, you're going to need something different. Fortunately, others have already trodden this path for you. In fact, it was back in 1984 when Apple changed the rules with the product launch ad for the Macintosh. The ad was shown just once in the Super Bowl and contained not a single image of the product it was launching. Here was a brand defining itself around a brilliant, and for their target, relevant purpose, to challenge conventions, later captured perfectly in the phrase, "Think different." With the growing interest in the category and the result of numerous interviews with challenger brand owners, Adam Morgan captured the rules of these new brands in his 1999 Bible for challengers, Eating the Big Fish. And appropriately for the new style of brand, they ditched the cool logic of pyramids and brand essences for the passion of brand enemies' beliefs and brand purpose. There is also a really important distinction in the approach to the target audience. In traditional brand management, everything starts with the target audience. The first player builds insight into what's most important to them and positions their brand best to capture this. For the second entrant, keen to avoid becoming a pale imitation of the first, they need to find some clear space. So they look for a new audience insight and positioning, taking into account the territory the first player has already claimed. Unfortunately, by the time you're the fourth or the fifth brand in the market, the available insights and positionings become increasingly marginal. It's the key reason why most mature markets follow the pattern where the first mover takes 30 to 50% share. The second will take approximately half that, and the rest of the brands scrap it out for whatever's left. Challengers are usually disrupting a market with many existing players, so to avoid the inherent diminishing returns, you need a different approach. This is where lighthouse brands come in. A lighthouse brand doesn't navigate around consumers, but rather starts with the opportunity that inspired you to become a challenger in the first place. It then marks out a territory on top of this opportunity and asks consumers, and ultimately brand leaders, to navigate around you instead. It also means your brand is directly linked to why you started it in the first place, baking authenticity into your approach. So, how do you actually define a challenger brand? There are 6 core elements: the opportunity, your enemy, your brand belief, your resulting brand purpose or mission, what you do or offer as a result of all the above, how you do it, and finally, your core tribe. This approach builds a really strong support structure for your challenger brand. It means that what you do isn't seen as some cynical exercise in making money, but as something with meaning and purpose. And because of that, it does wonders for the motivation of your own team. Employees want to feel like they're contributing to something bigger than themselves. This internal passion is one of the key advantages challengers have over the existing players. The first step is to define your opportunity. You probably already know what this is because it's what started your journey in the first place. However, it's important to define it properly so others in your business are on the same page. What exactly is it that you are challenging? How and why is the existing market currently failing its potential audience? The second step is to define your enemy. This isn't a person or competitor, but rather some injustice or wrong that your existence will put right. Enemies not only keep your brand sharp, but you can push off against them to bind your target to you. Dove did this brilliantly with their campaign for Real Beauty. Their enemy was the artificial and unrealistic portrayal of beauty that ultimately makes real women feel bad about themselves. They offered a glimpse behind the curtain and exposed the tricks that no real woman is ever going to be able to compete with. Dollar Shave Club launched by pushing off against the increased costs associated with the insane drive for even more blades in razors. In their campaign, Cheat Legal, Skins, the compression wear brand, challenged the increased willingness of athletes at all levels to turn to underhand ways to gain an unfair advantage. Apple took pot shots at the lack of simplicity in PCs in their long-running "I'm a Mac, I'm a PC" campaign. Under Armour challenged the notion of limits or preconceived ideas with the story of Misty Copeland, a ballet dancer who, after being told,
"Unfortunately, you have not been accepted. You simply have the wrong body for ballet. And at 13, you are already far too old to be considered,"
went on to become the first African-American woman to be promoted to a principal dancer in the American Ballet Theatre's 75-year history. With the opportunity and enemy now defined, it's time to turn to your own brand with a brand belief. Beliefs and attitudes are the glue that bind communities together. Yours needs to be a deeply held point of view about how the world should work or where it's going wrong. Clearly, it has to connect with the opportunity, and this is the why of your existence. It's the pivotal element in connecting your brand with the people that hold the same beliefs. Out of your belief will come your resulting brand mission or purpose. This is the driving force behind your brand. What improvement are you going to bring about in the world? Your purpose should be what inspires you to come in each morning and will be your rallying cry. It is only at this point that we get to the what you actually do. This is a description of your product or service, but in context of your purpose. It's about the defining choices you've made that make your product different. You're looking for something that would inspire the response. Well, of course that's the way you would do it. How you do it is where your personality gets to shine through. And in today's markets, with so many competitors offering functionally similar things, personality is one of the most important ways you can define how you're distinctive. Finally, it's time to define your core tribe. The people most likely to jump on board and those that will help champion your cause to other people. Igniting a passion within your tribe is the key way to counter the deeper pockets of the brand leaders. And people enjoy sharing new discoveries when they reflect who they are and what they believe. When you bring this all together, you create a really strong platform for your brand, and hopefully one that will give you an unfair advantage. Good luck on your journey. And if you need any help, just reach out to us and we'll see what we can do to help.